All right, so I want to start by introducing who you are, what you do here at Oakdale.
Okay. I am Mr. Bingman. I teach drawing and painting 1 through 3 in AP, ceramics 1 through 3 in AP, and I think that's about it.
Unified Art.
Unified Art.
So my first question is, how long have you been here at Oakdale?
I think 13 years, maybe.
13.
13 or 14.
How long have you been in education as a whole?
27.
27. Where were you before Oakdale?
Middletown Middle School and then Urbana High School.
For all those years?
Yes.
Would you say you said Middletown Middle?
Mm-hmm.
And
3 years. I taught middle school for 3 years.
And what was the other one?
Urbana High School.
Oh, I see. Would you say you didn't favor middle school?
I would say I didn't favor middle school, yes.
So what kind of got you into art and like maybe the education portion of it?
I've always been interested in art, even as a small child. My original intent was to work on movies, special effects for movies, but my education system and schooling changed when my now wife was going more towards Maryland, and I was headed more towards California, and I didn't really want to make that move. And then I decided to go into education.
So how late was that into your academic career?
3rd year of college.
Really?
Yeah.
So where did you go to college, Maryland?
No, I went to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh, then I went to Frostburg State, and then I went to McDaniel.
I see. What would you do right after college? What was your...
In the beginning, right after college, I painted billboards. The big ones you see on the side of the road. Those used to be all hand painted.
Did you enjoy it?
No.
Didn't?
I don't like heights.
How long did you do that for?
Oh, maybe a year and a half before I got hired in school.
So you do a lot of different forms of art, right?
I
You do
do.
drawing, painting, ceramics.
Sculpture.
You do any others? Sculpture?
I do stained glass as well, and printmaking.
Did you find it hard to like learn all of that? And did you learn all of it at like the same time, or?
No, it's over years of training and working with different people that do different technical skills and medias. No, I've always been a visual learner, not a bookworm. I don't really work like that. It's easier for me to look at something and dissect it that way.
So how would you say you make your class more interesting compared to others, like compared to maybe a student's like the rest of their schedule? How would you say you make your class more unique?
Well, I think an art class is a little bit more unstructured, as in sitting in rows of desks, and you're up and about, you're doing more things. The rapport is different. There's a lot of one-on-one working with the student. I'm not usually talking at everybody at once. I'm talking more individually and fielding questions, and then you get to know the student better. I think it's more of an open rapport.
Yeah.
Because you're constantly moving too. You're not sitting there.
Would you say you kind of get that from your preference for visual learning more than like being like straight up told what to do?
Probably more visual learning. I think the student in art, I'm just talking about art, learns more from that interaction, that feedback, because you're constantly reassessing and looking at things and discussing it, and then you're asking other people their opinion too, which is quite different than most academics.
Do you often get students that are unmotivated? Because I feel like doing an art project takes a lot of motivation. especially for school?
Sometimes. I mean, it just depends. They may not like the particular project, so you have to figure out a way to motivate them, even if they're not interested.
How would you go about doing that?
Oh, through humor, talking to them, making them more of their project, not me just telling them what to do. They're taking more, what's the word I'm looking for? They're not pride, but they're buying into it more because it's more of their idea.
So what would you say is your kind of favorite subject to do, art subject?
I really don't have one because I lose interest quickly, so I kind of keep having to go from one thing to the next.
You bounce
just to
around.
make it interesting. Yeah, I bounce around. So it's easier for me to teach multiple preps and multiple techniques than it is opposed to one. Because you're not doing the same thing over, but sometimes you're doing the same technique over. You can obviously change the objective of the project, but I kind of like to paint, then work with clay, then maybe printmaking, or then drawing. I think it's more entertaining. And for the kids, I think it is.
When it comes to your teaching style, the way you teach, would you say like it's sort of influenced by teachers that you had?
I don't know. I don't know if that's true. Maybe a little bit from each. I had a really good history teacher, and that's completely opposite of teaching art. And his energy and his rapport and his humor and the way he joked around with kids, I thought that was a really good strategy and was successful in the classroom. I would say a lot. I had a really good elementary art teacher. He was fantastic. And I actually did, when I did my middle school teaching experience, I did it with him. So I learned a lot.
So do you think there's a correlation between the teacher's energy and the students?
Absolutely. I think they feed off each other. I do.
So how do you think, the staff or the students would describe you?
That's hit or miss. I don't know.
Because we are going to be asking some people how they would describe you.
Sure.
So how do you think?
I may be strict. Probably sarcastic. Probably the two.
Yeah. Do you think?
But I demand a lot from the kids in the classroom, and I think that should be the expectation. And there is accountability. They go hand in hand.
Do you think there are some that know you as like energetic and humorous, more than like strict and?
Sure. Yeah.
But you try doing a mix of both,
Yeah, you have to balance it out. Yeah.
What would you say? Maybe you already answered this question, but what would you say is like your favorite part of teaching? Like what keeps you drawn?
Oh, it's the kids. It's the kids and how they react and what they produce and what they create. It's all about the kids. It's nothing else.
Do you think that'd be way different if you were teaching another subject?
I think it would. I do think it would. I think the structure of what and how I teach and the subject I teach is different. So I do think. I probably wouldn't be a teacher.
This might be the last one, but
It's all good.
what would you say you could maybe improve on? Do you see any room for improvement?
There's always room for improvement. I guess expanding on what the kids know and pushing them a little bit more, I guess. I don't know. That's a good question. There's always room for improvement.
Pushing them more like
Artistically.
okay,
Yeah.
so like making them
Yeah, probably more about what opportunities there are in art other than, just being a professional artist. There's a lot of jobs in the world that require art or an art background. I think I should develop something more to get them to go in that direction.
I could see that, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's underlooked.
Yeah. I think that's gonna be it.
Sounds great.
Awesome.
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 Awesome.